right, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Welcome to the program. Dish Network Channel 219, Pluto TV, Channel 470, 1029 on Samsung TV Plus. Also on Distro TV and the Roku channel. Make sure you also follow us on all the socials. And if you are, then you're just like me and you just got your notification. We are streaming live. I just got my Facebook notification. I just got my YouTube notification. We're also streaming on Rumble, in the Rumble chat for the Rumblers. We've got the Getter chat, the great community over there at Getter, which is, of course, one that has been with us almost like last few years, man. They've been there every night, talking, creating a great community. Go over there and join them if you haven't already done so. David Zier is here. Slick Rick is here. Damon is running a little bit late, little family thing. He was going to get to experience before he came and did the show, so we'll await his arrival. In the meantime, you got us. You're stuck with us. Slick has got sports. David Zier, of course, has got some news. Let's go around the room. David, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, thank you. Hello, everybody in the chats and across the country. A lot going on here. I just spoke to Andrew Giuliani about the day's events and the trial. I'll be there covering the Trump trial tomorrow.
All right, so you weren't there today?
Nope, he was there, but he wanted to pass on that the Trump team successfully painted Stormy as someone who changed her story when she had the opportunity to profit. And that Madeline Westerhout was saying that Trump had a great relationship with Melania, turned the prosecution's witness into a key positive character witness for Trump. So there's some silver linings out there. And got a lot of stuff for you today, including clips from my interview with Mike Flynn and Nick Giordano about our college campuses under siege.
Yeah, and going back to the trial in New York for President Trump. Interesting, because Stormy Daniels wrapped up today, right?
Yeah.
She wrapped up.
They're running out of witnesses.
They're running out of witnesses, yeah. For some reason, now they're all of a sudden they're talking about, well, now it seems like the case is actually on time or actually running ahead of schedule, is what the story is coming out.
Yeah, maybe by the end of next week, prosecution might be relatively done.
Yeah, but so that leaves what? Michael Cohen next?
Michael Cohen's going to be the big one.
Do they have anybody else that they want to bring up?
Yeah, there are. I have more witness names for you. I'll have that in a little while for you.
For the prosecution or for the defense?
I think the prosecution mainly.
All right.
Yeah, I gotta see if what the defense is putting up as far as witnesses go. But I have some names. I just don't have them in front of me. I was reading it earlier.
And what was Andrew's take? His personal take. How did he think the day finished out?
Well, again, he thinks that it was relatively positive, but there was nothing groundbreaking today as much as the other day in the afternoon. On Tuesday, because they didn't have court on Wednesday. That at the end of the day, the judge abruptly ended the trial. Because he was, I think he was upset that they got Stormy to admit that she was doing this for money, because earlier in the day, and she's maintained in the past, that she was well off at the time and didn't need the money and just wanted to be protected because she didn't feel safe from Trump. That was her testimony in the court that she did, and she said it several times.
Right.
Now, the judge did sustain some of the objections from the Trump team when she said that, and when the prosecution used the word she didn't feel safe because they didn't think that was fair. Because she couldn't prove that she was approached in this parking lot by this man.
Oh,
who
right,
said,
I remember.
Drop your story and all this stuff. So yeah, it was a crazy day on Tuesday, that's for sure.
Yeah, so crazy that even this cut from MSNBC 17 that I have here, for a second when I first played it, I'm like, no, this has got to be fake. I think this is AI. This can't be real. But when you see it, and don't mind the beaker-looking Muppet character on the screen, just listen to the lady who's talking. I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't just say, you know what, we're just gonna wrap the case up today. Here is cut number 17, MSNBC, their opinion of Stormy Daniels. Check this out.
Stormy Daniels now claims that she is a medium and that she communicates with dead people and has participated in a TV series about the paranormal where she explores things, including the fact that at one point an ex-boyfriend of hers was inhabited by spirits. Stormy Daniels is a liar and she is crazy.
So that's coming from MSNBC of all things.
Even CNN did that today, something similar. But listen, the judge, I think there's a wink, wink, nod, nod going on in this triad of the jury and the prosecution, and the judge, the jury, and the prosecutors, because they let this happen. And they let her go on, with salacious details and stuff like that. But listen, this is a whole plot to drag Trump through the mud to damage him for the election. This is the interference.
Yeah, and I heard some commentators talking today, and they're disappointed, David, because it's not being televised. This trial is not being televised. It's not the OJ trial. It's not January 6th. It's not any of those big trials that they really would have loved to have the cameras in the courtroom. So this could be must-see TV every single day because that's what they needed it to be, and it's not it. So people are just getting, reports from reporters at the end of the day or during breaks, but they're not invested. They're not spending time with it because guess what? They don't care. There's nothing to watch.
Well, the kitchen table issues have taken precedence, I think, as well. And, this is a case fit for TMZ, not for, this is all about destroying Trump.
Yeah,
so.
And not even TMZ, because TMZ loves video. They love having stuff out there.
Yeah, they need video.
Yeah, they need video. Instead, put up that video. You don't even have to play it. Just look at I don't even know what that person is next to the lady who does the talking here at Cut 17 that we played earlier from MSNBC. Who is that? Is it a dude? Is it not a dude? Is it sometimes a dude? It used to be a dude. Now it's not a dude. I don't know.
Looks like an overused Q-tip.
It's stunning, but that's what they're wheeling out. And they're calling Stormy Daniels crazy. So I don't know about that. You might need a new Q-tip. Good one, Slick. Speaking of Slick, he's got some sports. He had a devastating evening last night watching the Knicks come back and grab a 2-0 lead over his new favorite team, the Indiana Pacers.
There's a story there, though. There's a story there.
There is a story, but I know you've got some sports. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Rick. How you doing this evening?
Doing all right. Anything grab your attention for sports?
Well, for one, ex-NBA player Glenn Davis was handed 40 months in jail for a healthcare fraud scheme. I mean, these guys don't make enough money as NBA players.
Well, you know what it is? Sometimes they live beyond their means and they run out.
Yeah, well, big baby's going to the big house, so we'll be talking about that. And Pacers send NBA 78 allegedly missed calls by officials from games 1 and 2. So it looks like the Knicks are getting a little help there in the Garden. So we'll see what happens. But that is an amazing story developing right there. And of course, we're going to update you, Rangers, and some NBA action as well. I'll keep you updated on the scores a little bit later.
All right, very good. Because switching back to the New York trial, David. I don't know you're heading in tomorrow. Now, are you heading in? Are you doing the early? Are you doing the late?
I'm going to do the first half. Andrew Giuliani will take the second half. And then I am off to Wildwood, New Jersey at about 2 o'clock, trying to beat the Manhattan traffic. Leaving Manhattan to go to New Jersey on a Friday afternoon is suicide.
Getting off the sandbar.
Got to get out early because it's a 4-hour drive to Wildwood. But we'll be on the ground. 5 p.m. coverage starting on Saturday. And then on Sunday at the America First Warehouse, General Flynn will be there with his new movie, Flynn, and I'll be interviewing him there. So I got to get back, and then Mother's Day.
That's right. Oh my goodness, that's right.
Yeah.
That's this weekend.
My wife wants to kill me, but
so it'll be a good day for her if you're out of the house.
Yeah, right. We'll spend the day together, though, after the Flynn interview, and I'll see my mother. So happy Mother's Day to everybody, because I won't be here tomorrow.
That's right. You're not going to be here, so he's sending out to all the moms.
Very nice.
An early happy Mother's Day. Pretty interesting stuff. I know we've got a bunch of stuff. I don't know if you guys caught some of the Kristi Noem. She's been in the news a lot lately. We'll tackle that in a little bit, but it seems like you know what? I think her political career at this point is over. She might want to put it on ice for a while. Things have kind of gotten out of hand with the way she's kind of handled this book tour that she's on. So we'll dive into that in just a little bit. Yeah. Also, Damon will be joining us a little bit later as well. I do have this clip though. This kind of caught me as funny. I was looking for stuff for the show, and we love Kevin Downey Jr. He's a comic. He comes on. We've had some other very funny people on the show as well. Well, this guy I found, and it's interesting too because we've talked about this with Kevin about how making fun of doing comedy these days is almost frowned upon, right? You hear about these stories that these comics, they get their shows canceled. I know a couple guys who had shows in the upper western part of the country had shows canceled just because of who they are and the jokes that they would make, bashing Biden and Democrats, and maybe they are Trump supporters, maybe they're not. It doesn't even matter. It's just that people just don't seem to. Dave Chappelle as well. He gets a lot of crap for the trans jokes, which are very funny. Ricky Gervais, same way, very funny. But I think it's almost like the tide is turning. You know how we're seeing all the celebrities start to come out and say, I'm not supporting this president. I'm not voting for Biden this time around. Right? Yeah, Rick, you're right. Thanks. I found this guy, cut number 10. Here's this comic, and he actually has a Biden administration employee in his audience. You got to check this out. This is cut number 10. Check it.
Nick, what do you do for a living now? You work for the Biden administration. Boy. Is your job to wake them up, or what's your job? Okay, what do you do for the Biden administration? Show what job you have. I can't believe you admitted that. You have the freedom to lie. You could have said you were a hooker, and I would have been proud of you. What do you do?
I travel to southern states.
What did he say?
You go to the South and try to sell them on Biden? What are you talking about? That's your job? You go, hey, listen, I know you guys like Trump, but Biden, wow. Are you ready to be unemployed, or what's your vibe?
Wow, very sharp.
That was good.
Very funny. I think the tide is turning now. I think Kevin's going to start seeing some good stuff start to happen in these comedy clubs where it's okay to make jokes about the rotting sandbag that's in the White House right now and all the people attached to it. So let's hope the sanity, normalcy returns slowly but surely. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do some sports with Slick Rick, some news with David Zier. We've got an interview coming up at the bottom of the hour. Hopefully, Damon will be joining us very shortly as well. In the meantime, stay there. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. We will be back. I don't even remember. Yeah. Now I don't even remember because you guys suck. You threw me off.
It takes a lot to throw you off, too.
I know. What? Huh? All right, we're live in the chat.
Here we are.
David Zier, say hello.
Hey,
David Zier, happy Mother's Day.
what's going on, chatters?
Chatters?
What did you call them? Did somebody call them chatterbaiters the other day?
The other day, he calls them that all the
time.
time.
I've been calling that for 2 years now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he even knows how long.
His cousin Humper chatterbaiters.
Cousin Humper has been a 2-year run?
No, I think that's like a year or so.
Yeah.
About a year.
Going to shout out to Ginger and Dana, SEAL Team 711, always right. Nick 387, just a riot. We're in the Getter chat here. Mo Man Me. Hello.
Somebody in the chat
it's the other chats. Right.
Yep. Beth Mizio, Janice, Danielle, Kathy Granville is always in our Facebook chat.
I'm gonna put hard money on it that anybody in the Get It chat is at least 2 devices in. They're watching something else. I know
Right.
it.
Do they?
Really? Oh.
All right, and now I'm over on said X. Let me see if I can join the chat.
Somebody said the overused Q-tip looked like Art Garfunkel. That's a good one. I got
Yeah, that was a good one.
Right? That's it. I only have ears for you. Yeah, that was good though. Oh man.
I swear, some of these people are disasters, and they just put them on TV.
It's
Kind
incredible.
of like us.
Yeah. we're worse than that.
All right, trying to get it. I'm trying to get into the X chat. Now I can't. Like, normally it works for me pretty easily, and it's not working.
Yeah, I've been having trouble with it.
There it is. Now I'm in.
Somebody said, what was the name of the comic?
Oh, I got to look that up.
Oh. That looked like that looked very old, that video. It looked like something from like 30 years ago.
No, you know what it is? It's the Laugh Factory.
Oh, okay, but the guy, just the way the guy was dressed, that shirt and everything, it was like, everything looked like old on that guy. But obviously it's current stuff.
Basement comedy doesn't change very much.
Man.
Well, a lot of these comics don't have money, so they don't dress so great, you know?
Yeah, they're living out of their cars.
Yeah.
Going from gig to gig. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Damon is going to be running a little bit late, so he'll be here very shortly. In the meantime, David Zier is here. He's got some clips. He's got some news. We'll be doing that with him just a little bit. But first, let's kick it over to Slick Rick and Slick Rick Sports, brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to mypillow.com. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Make sure you use that code. Put it in. Get your receipt, send it to us. We'll send you a free T-shirt, and of course, you'll be a little bit more. You'll be a little bit better dressed, and you have a little more coin in your pocket while you enjoy your Slick Rick Sports. What do you got for us, Slick?
Well, we got playoff action big on the big ice. Well, I'm going to say Big D. On the ice tonight, NHL. Let's go right to that. Hurricanes lead the Rangers 1-0. Just 17 minutes into the 17 to go in the second period. Game 3, actually. Rangers lead this series 2-0. With a win tonight, the Rangers would be pretty much on their way to sealing things up shortly. But Hurricanes looking to get back in the good graces and win this one. They're home. It's 1-0. Avalanche take on the Stars in Dallas. That's also a game 2. Colorado leading the series 1-0. It's a 9:30 p.m. puck drop down in American Airlines Arena. The Celtics and the Cavaliers in a good one, tied 54-54 at the half. The Celtics took the first game of the series easily. They're up 1-0. And the Mavs taking on the Thunder. That game in OKC, Oklahoma City, 9:30 p.m. tip-off. So we'll probably just about have that when it gets going, about 9:30 tip. And OKC leads that series 1-0. So good action tonight. 2 games in the NHL, 2 games in the NBA. Playoffs in full swing, almost midway through. So looking good. Major League Baseball earlier today, a couple of finals. Well, Diamondbacks beat the Reds 5-4. Man, Reds are just losing left and right. Twins blew out the Mariners 11-1. Rockies pounded the Giants 9-1. Astros nipping the Yankees 4-3. Royals take on the Angels at 9:38 tonight. That's first pitch. And in action right now, rain delay. Guardians and White Sox, no score. And in the top of the third, the Brewers blanking the Cardinals 4-0. And the Brewers, conversely, playing very well in the NL Century, leading that division. Well, I talked about it earlier, but ex-NBA player Glenn Davis handed 40 months in jail for a healthcare fraud scheme. Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. Former Boston Celtics player Glenn Davis has been handed a 40-month prison sentence in connection with the scheme to defraud the league's healthcare plan. Davis, who played in the NBA from 2007 to 2015, was accused of filing false reimbursement claims to the league's healthcare plan for medical care they never received. Davis was convicted of the $4 million fraud in November. Davis and 19 other players reportedly in on the scheme received $2.5 million of the nearly $5 million in false claims. Along with his sentence, Davis was ordered to pay $80,000 in restitution, according to Yahoo Sports. Will Bynum, an 8-year NBA veteran, remember him, was also convicted in the case. He was sentenced to 18 months in prison and was ordered to pay $183,000 in restitution. Davis began his 8 years in the NBA with the Boston Celtics. He was actually a real star at one point. He averaged 8 points and 4.4 rebounds per game during his career. Along with the Celtics, he played with the Orlando Magic and the LA Clippers. His best season was 2012-2013 when he averaged 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists for the Magic. Former players Terrence Williams and Keon Dooling were also indicted in the scheme. So, guys getting a little bit greedy there. I'm sure they have some injuries, but man, $4 million, that sounds like brain surgery, for goodness sakes. And that may be just what he needed, because doing something like that, retiring on a nice NBA career salary, but who knows, he might have blew the money. I don't really know the man's situation, but I hate to see that. Healthcare fraud is not a good thing. So he's going to be punished. He's going to play some basketball in prison. Exactly. He brings new meaning to the term hardwood floors. So that's a wrap in sports. Rick, back to you for this segment.
All right. Well, thank you, Slick. And again, Slick Rick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com, use our code LFS6B at checkout, and you'll save yourself some money and get some great stuff from Mike and his people over at MyPillow. Real quick, people were asking about the clip that I played, the comic that was goofing on the audience member who admits working for the Biden administration. His name is Josh Ocean Thomas. You can find him on X, Josh Ocean, like, this body of water, Josh Ocean Thomas. Go check him out. He only has 838 followers right now.
Well, he's going to have a lot more soon.
I think he should have a lot more. If you're on X, go find Josh Ocean Thomas. I'm actually going to share him right now and see if we can get him some more followers. And let's get this guy. He's a comic. He describes himself as a Jewish-looking Arab stand-up comedian. So make sure you go and check him out.
He looks a little like Borat, a little bit.
He does.
He got the Borat look going on.
He's got the the bastard offspring look of Borat.
He does.
Borat.
He does. Borat.
Yeah.
Either way,
pretty funny.
It is.
All right. So so that's his name, Josh Ocean Thomas. Let's kick it over to David Zier. David, what have you got for us, man?
I wanted to play a clip from my interview with General Flynn earlier this week with members of the America First Warehouse. He's coming Sunday. His 1:30 show, 4:30 show. Go to the AmericaFirstWarehouse.com if you're in the New York area. It's the first time he's doing 2 shows in a day for his new movie, Flynn, Deliver the Truth, Whatever the Cost. He's really great, very resolute. I wanted to get to a clip here. Let's go to Lawfare is a leftist tactic, cut number 14.
Lawfare is a tactic. Okay, lawfare is a tactic. Lawfare is a means. It's like using artillery or using aviation to attack, a strong point of an enemy. But the overall strategy is to take over this country, and they're doing it through as many means, as many tactics as they possibly can. And one of the ways that they're doing it, like this tactic going against President Trump right now, going against a guy like me, taking out, narratively assassinating the national security advisor to a duly elected president of the United States. They did it. They did it very effectively. And now they're going after Donald J. Trump. And so far, they're being effective because they have isolated him and they have divided the country. They have really divided the country. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that think, that Trump has clearly done something wrong, right? And this is foolish thinking, because this is how communism takes over a country. And what they do is they use the media, they use the intelligence community, especially the CIA, they use the FBI to weaponize, and we've all learned that word, weaponize. They have weaponized the United States federal government and agencies and activities in the federal government to target those who they are afraid of. Okay, evil. This is evil, folks. And I will tell you, and I'll finish with this and throw it back to you. In the long arc of history, good always triumphs over evil. The problem is it can take time. And right now we're almost into a decade of this crap. I mean, it really started with me, and I start the movie out in the while I was still serving in Afghanistan. So This goes back even before 2016 and 2017. This goes way back. And people need to understand that what happened was Donald Trump got in the way of this takeover. The real idea was 8 years of Barack Obama, 8 years of Hillary Clinton, and the America First warehouse, and my buddy Joe the Box would be shut down and it wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
I'll be interviewing him again on Sunday there. And I got some sneak preview clips of my sit-down, College is Under Siege, with Professor Nick Giordano. That'll air on Breaking Point, 8 a.m. this Saturday.
Yeah, but going back to what General Flynn was saying, he was talking about, and it began really when he was in the Biden administration. People don't remember he was in the Biden administration.
Yeah, you're right.
And it was when he decided he wasn't going to toe their party line or what the hell they were up to. That's when they turned on him. And you remember that they gave President Trump a warning on 2 people, right? I think this is the kind of famous, everybody pretty much knows it. Barack Obama warned President Trump about Kim Jong-un and General Michael Flynn.
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
And the unmasking issue.
Exactly. So, crazy stuff. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we have a guest joining us right here live on the show. We're talking about, where did I put his information? Oh, my goodness. From AMAC, Andy Mangione is going to be back on the show. So hang tight. We'll talk to him in just a little bit. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Stay there.
Ooh, sounds like Chuck Mangione on the music.
Pico Delgado.
Yo. Back. Ugh. All right, let's try and get into this damn chat thing. Stupid stuff. Can't do it. Where is it?
All right. So I'm on X.
Yeah.
I'm on Getter.
Yeah.
I'm on Rumble. Let's see what's going on in Rumble. And in Rumble...
That's an active chat, the Rumble crew.
Yeah, well, we got the Rav chat in Rumble.
Right. It's nice. If they don't love you in one chat, just try another.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you haven't
It's like
pissed
a
them
ball.
off in one,
she's not
you can
interested
go
in
piss
me.
them off in another.
I'll go to the other room.
I'm going back and forth between the Rav chat and the LFS6B Rumble chat.
That's funny.
Let's see what's going on the LFS6B side, peoples.
All right, so I shared Josh Ocean his thing. So if you're on X, look for that.
Oh, we got a lot of people in the LFS6B chat on Rumble. Good evening, everybody. 6B control room. Hey, what's up? That's us. Nick's dad, the Bill of Rights.
Hey. Hey, Aaron.
Hey.
Hey.
Let's see. Nick's dad, Darmac. Hello.
Saying hello to the Facebook chatters right now.
All right. And then who am I? Oh, I'm not in YouTube yet. I have 7 chats
go to
going
the
at once
YouTube.
here.
Go to the YouTubes and you could chat
You could check Joe, check the video.
and you could say that you love them.
I need one of those used Q-tips for my ears.
You could get them at MSNBC.
Yes.
I can't type YouTube live. I'm dyslexic. Jeez.
Dyslexic.
What are you, one of those kids who knives?
Maybe you need some shampoo.
It dyslexes.
Dyslexic.
Why can't I find the chat?
They're hiding from you.
I would. Oh, there's my tie. They got my... I know it's the right day if I see my...
I'm in the Rumble chat. Rumblers.
Sure.
Rumblers, tumblers.
All right, where's the chat now? So I'm in YouTube Live, but I can't see the chat. Does it take a while to come up?
Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Damon is running late. He'll be here in just a little bit. David Zier's here. He's got some news. He's got some more interview clips that he wants to share with us. Of course, he's the host of Breaking Point every Saturday morning right here on Real America's Voice at 8 a.m. Eastern. So make sure you make plans for your mornings on Saturday to join David right here on Real America's Voice. Slick Rick is here. He's got sports. He'll be doing that again in just a little bit. But let's bring our guest back on to the show. Andy Mangione. He's from AMAC. He's the senior VP. And we welcome you back to the program, sir. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for taking the time and jumping back in to join us. Hey, let me ask you this, because from what I understand, there's some great things that you guys have been stirring around and doing lately, right?
Without a doubt, our members have been very active in the states with regard to election integrity, and that could encompass many things: ranked choice voting, getting third-party money out of the administration of local elections. But this time, it's a huge it's a huge issue for our members, election integrity. Our members were very active in Virginia. Recently, they flooded Governor Glenn Youngkin's office with nearly 800 messages telling him to veto bad election integrity bills that were passed by the state legislature. Some of these bills included making non-citizen voting easier, limiting free speech when it comes to criticizing election integrity or election administration, and reducing local controls of elections. There were 16 bills in all, and the governor vetoed 12 of them, with further action pending on the remaining 4. And you could bet that we're going to be tracking that activity. Our members, AMAC members in Virginia, spoke, and Governor Glenn Youngkin heard them.
Yeah, that's a great response, especially because, like you said, he vetoed 12 of the 16, and they got 4 more to go, right?
Yeah, we got a shot at 4 more, and it's imperative that he takes a look at some of those bills. It's imperative that he's working. What he's doing is looking at amendments. He has until May 17th to either veto them or have them go through.
Right. Now, in terms of, activating, and it sounds kind of a weird word to say, but people on AMAC. But how do you get the members? What do you guys use at AMAC to get the members to, kind of make their voices heard, but get active and say, you know what? Yeah, I can do this. Because a lot of people think, well, my voice doesn't really count. Why am I going to send an email? What does it matter? You just pointed out how it matters.
It matters bigly, if I could use that word. We've been activating our members, and that's a good word to use because that's exactly what we're doing. We're asking our members to become citizen advocates. We've been using our call to action campaigns in states throughout the country on many issues, including election integrity. And we do it through email. We do it through phone calling. We're working on texting. Our members seem to respond very well to emails. And it doesn't take much. I want to emphasize this for your audience. You think your voice doesn't count? Well, in a state legislature, they're not used to getting responses like 800 messages sent to the governor. Right. That doesn't happen every day, and it really gets their attention.
Yeah, because I think people are under this misconception. When you say 800, they don't see that as a big number. They're like, we're in a country of 300 plus million. How does 800 make a difference? Like you said, in the state legislatures, when you're narrowing in on a more focused area, 800 becomes a loud knock on the door at all hours of the night, right?
Without a doubt. Heck, back in Maine last month, our members sent just about 200 members to the legislature to help kill a red flag law and preserve the Second Amendment there. So believe it or not, it doesn't take much to make noise, and that noise definitely resonates with state legislatures. Yeah,
and that's another great feature with AMAC. They're kind of helping you kind of point in the right directions, because a lot of people don't realize these things are coming, or these bills or this type of legislation could be there and available that people want to pass, and we're not as clued in because, hey, it wasn't featured on the nightly news. Oh, we missed the news because we had things we were running around doing. Hey, we had to work late or something like that, and you don't get to see all the things that are happening, at least politically, in your area that could affect you personally, right?
That's one of the things we do at AMAC Action, and it's one of the benefits of membership with AMAC. Right now, we're running a special. You go to amac.us/Studio 6B, and you can sign up for AMAC, get 4 years for $30. And one of the benefits that you get is us, AMAC Action, in the States with full-throated conservative advocacy. We will bring issues to you. You can participate and become a citizen advocate. You can join us in our call to action campaigns, and your voice definitely gets heard. And we know that because we live it every day.
Yeah. Now you've real quick before we wrap up here. Are there any other things that are coming up that you see like, oh, this is going to be important later on in the month of May in this state, so to speak, or in June, this is coming up in, say, another state? Can you clue us into some of the things you see coming down the pike?
Absolutely. We just sent out a call to action today in Louisiana for a bill that protects women's rights. It keeps biological men out of women's safe spaces. That's what they're calling them. School locker rooms, changing areas, school restrooms, prisons, battered women's shelters. It keeps biological men out of there. So we activated the membership in Louisiana to let their senators know there to please do not disparage women's rights in Louisiana and pass this important bill.
Yeah, that's great. Again, it's from AMAC. If you want to go to their website, it's amac.us. That's amac.us. Use our code there /Studio6B when you're typing it in, and take advantage of that great deal. 4 years for $30. And what else do they get besides the activation messages?
Well, they get a whole, a robust menu of member benefits. You'll get travel discounts. You get all the insurance products. You get lifestyle discounts on lifestyle products like hearing aids. You get advice on financial services. You get the wonderful AMAC magazine that comes out every other month that is really, really an asset. It's a wonderful journalism. You can download the AMAC app and stay up to date every day on what's happening. We hear such wonderful comments on our AMAC newsline with the stories that we're putting out there. It's really, it's advocacy, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah, and you guys do a great job. And again, Andy Mangione, thank you so much for joining us. Remember to visit them online. That's amac.us/Studio6B. Andy, thank you again for joining us. Have a great night, man.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
All right, there you have it. Andy Mangione, AMAC.
You know, the other retirement group out there just did
I got an envelope from them over the weekend.
Yeah,
right in the garbage.
AMAC, you could be 50 and over and join.
Yeah.
But you know, the other group that AMAC is probably, you know, getting a lot of members from because they have a Democratic agenda, the AARP.
Yeah.
Big Democratic agenda, supporting Obamacare and everything. AARP just did a study. Adults 50 and older who aren't retired expect to are saying they're never going to be able to retire.
Yeah,
so I hope AMAC benefits from that because of all the leftist positions that ARP has had over the years. 1 in 4 seniors have no retirement savings.
Yeah, and you know, I heard something today, I think it was today or yesterday, that 1 in 4 Americans only have about $500, maybe $1,000 in a savings account.
I can't believe they have access to my bank account.
Which means they're basically, you know, one missed paycheck away from being in dire straits, which is
it's a lot of people.
It's kind of scary when you stop and think about it.
Well, it kind of goes to the Antifa sentiment. I've had a lot of interaction with them, and they act like animals. But there's a side that I can relate to. You know, I had 3 kids at 23. You could be 1 month away from losing your apartment or your house with the incredible numbers out there and inflation. It's hard now. You could mess up and your credit's ruined and you lose your lease. And then what do? You can make $150,000 a year where you used to live, right, Rick, in San Francisco and be homeless. You
could do that here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy because in certain parts of the country, you could be considered the working poor.
Yeah.
People might not understand what that means, but you might make, 6 figures and you're still scraping it by. You're scraping to get by because taxes are so high, expenses are so high, rent or mortgage is so high. Everything gets so high, and you basically, it's coming in and it's going right out, coming in and going out. You add a kid to that equation, man, oh man, you're looking for a second job. Yep. And you make 6 figures.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
This is insanity.
It's insane.
But meanwhile, there you have Joe Biden, on CNN yesterday.
Oh, not a joke.
Yeah, exactly. Not a joke. claiming that he fixed the economy.
Oh, yeah.
He's turned it around. People just don't realize it.
Come
They're
on,
not
man.
smart enough. They don't get it. That's because he's such an insecure loser. He's such a moron. But we have another clip from yesterday, cut number 20, where CNN, Aaron Burnett, again, talking with Joe Biden, he's talking about Snicker bars. I guess it's a Snicker bar analogy. Maybe he's got extra nougat and nuts in his head that he uses for brains. I don't know. I don't get it. Check it out.
He makes me angry as
What
it is.
about, but there's real pain. I mean, grocery prices are up 30%, more than 30%.
More than.
Since the beginning of the pandemic.
Well, we
And
got
people are spending
uncomfortable
more
with
on
that.
food and groceries than they have at any time, really, in the past 30 years. I mean, that's a real day-to-day pain that people
No,
feel.
it really is.
He's lying, see?
And it's real. But the fact is that
What's the fact?
if you take a look at what the people have, they have the money to spend.
Oh.
It angers them and angers me that you have to spend more.
He's
For
hangry.
example, the whole idea of this notion that Senator Casey talked about, shrinkflation. I think it's on your
Same
program.
price for a smaller bottle of
Yeah. Right.
juice or
Well, for
something.
example, Snickers bar, they did a thing, and it's like 20% less for the same price. That's corporate greed. It's corporate greed.
That's what it is.
And we've got to deal with it, and that's what I'm working on.
Yeah. It's corporate greed. It's not. It has nothing to do with the policies that are forcing the manufacturers and the makers of this stuff to have to cut down just to try to keep the price where people will accept it. But they have to, and we've seen it with cereal boxes, with Snicker bars. We've seen it across the landscape when it comes to purchasing things.
Right.
And what's great is that ABC actually did a fact check on his stupidity, on his lies.
Right. I saw that.
From CNN, where he claimed, it was 9% when I walked into this. The inflation was 9%. Here's cut number 21. Check this out.
It was 9% when I came to office. 9%.
Inflation was actually 1.4% when Biden was sworn in,
that's close.
peaking at 9.1% in June 2022.
Telling
It
you,
has
MSM's
since come
getting
down
ready
to
to get rid of
3.5%, preventing a further drop housing costs. In New York City, one survey found rent is rising 7 times faster than wages. In California, a condo in West Hollywood just sold for a record-smashing $24 million. Food
yours?
costs also playing a role. Grocery prices are up 26% since 2019. And fast food prices are up 33%. Many consumers saying enough is enough.
I don't mean to be broke, but for an 8-count mini and a lemonade, $14?
I joked that this was fine dining now because I might as well go at a sit-down restaurant and be served if I'm going to pay those type of prices.
Yeah.
She's right.
What was the article I was reading? A news, was it ABC also, that identified 17 out of 19 lies in like 7 minutes in a Biden interview?
Yeah. Something like that.
It was a big number.
But it's amazing that now, and we've said it before, eventually the left is going to eat itself. They're starting to get hungry. And you can tell they're starting to take bites. It's like what's the Circle of Life movie? Lion
King.
Lion King.
He's the liar king.
Where all of a sudden, the king lion, the hyenas are starting to bite him, aren't they? Aren't they, Joe? They're coming for Scar. Just saying.
Jeremy Irons, another liberal.
Circle of Life, old man. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do some news with liberal David Zier and Slick Rick Sports next.
Heard you.
What did I say?
Liberal.
Okay, good. You didn't respond. You didn't react.
I figured it was a joke.
Somebody in the chat said, inflation is so bad we only have 3 hosts on the show now. That was good. I forgot who it was. That was good. Somebody got a 12-piece Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket with only 7 pieces of chicken in it. I called it a fucking bucket.
What?
Never mind.
Anyhow. All right. So let's see. What chat am I in right now? All right. Hey, fellas. Let's see. Can't touch your money. Freaking BlackRock. Yeah.
Dr. A.W. That's who said it. That was cute.
Santino 1124. You're correct. Joe Mo hasn't been in a grocery store in more than 30 years. And the last time he was there, he was probably there to sniff the kids.
Yeah. Not a joke.
Biden
Santino 1124 is going off. Biden shits ice cream. That's probably what he did on the that clip yesterday.
Did you see him shift when he was talking to the girl?
My God!
He shift. I thought he was trying to slide a crab cake to the left or the right cheek.
Lady Vu says Jim Carrey's going to play Joe Biden.
He already has.
Oh, he does a great Joe Biden.
Yeah, he already has.
No, probably in a docudrama.
DP from TX. You mean direct energy weapons?
Cleveland.
I'm just going to say that.
EP.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you the high sign. There you go. All right. What other chats can we jump in? That was in the Rumblers, the Rumbling Tumblers. Let's go over to
$12 for a hamburger, fries, and a Coke at McDonald's.
Dude,
it was so thin, it was like a wafer.
I went to Arby's. I think I told you guys this a week or two ago.
Where's the beef?
I'm like,
we got the beef.
Rarely do I see an Arby's. I'm going to stop because I saw the commercial for their burgers. They do these thick burgers. So I'm going to get one. $11 for just the burger.
Chicken tenders are $11 at Arby's.
Was it an anus burger?
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't your anus.
Black anus.
It wasn't your anus.
What is wrong with you guys?
Everything.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, right.
You're here. You used to have a legitimate career. That's over.
I get that a lot.
Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Slick Rick is here. He's got sports up in just a moment. David Zier has got some news. He's got some clips, and he's got some other stuff he wants to share. Have you been seeing any of the polls coming out lately?
Sure.
Anything grab your attention that you say, you know what, that's an interesting. I wasn't expecting to see that, because I know that there's definitely been more questions. I know from MSNBC. Saying that they had a poll showing that Biden was a bigger threat to democracy than Trump, which was an odd poll because that's, this is the left's wheelhouse. MSNBC, CNN, ABC News, and all of them seem to be going, you know what? Maybe they got the high sign, like, go ahead, let's give them a little something. Because I was listening to Dan Bongino on the way in.
Yeah.
As I use him for my show prep. Because I don't have a lot of time during the day. But he seems to have seen the light, David. Rick, you're going to be with me on this.
Yes. What did he say?
But actually, I think you are going to be with me, too. He says the left is getting ready to dump Joe Biden, and he predicts...
I feel that way.
He predicts... I don't know if he got it from me, or maybe, he got it from himself. He predicts it will happen at the... Convention,
I believe it's
now he's actually saying the
convention. They're on board with us,
and he's saying that people inside that because he's a former Secret Service guy. He knows people. He's got his tentacles there. He knows people. People come to him. It's like the Cat Williams thing. He doesn't have to ask for it. They just come to him. Hey Dan, here's what I got for you, and they'll share some information. And he keeps it sacred, and then he uses it when he needs to. He says that they're looking to dump him.
He's from 3 miles from the studio here where he was born. But, Joel Gilbert has been saying that. I interviewed him a bunch in the beginning of last year when, we've been, saying that Michelle is probably going to be brought in. Yeah. But he was saying at the convention as well, because the parallels are Obama spoke at the convention 4 years before he ran. Right. She spoke at the last convention. They both wrote 2 books. They both have a Get Out the Vote effort, Barack and Michelle Obama. There's a lot of similarities in the way this is unfolding. So I don't know for sure. But
and again, we point to the fact that they don't want her campaigning, and I said this is part of my theory. And I don't know if you guys were were on board with this, but they just want to make it for the next 2 months after the Chicago, because it's going to be in Chicago, DNC.
Oh, how ironic.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be in Chicago. What a great place to usher her in, kind of swoop her in, have Joe Biden go, here are my delegates.
It's her hometown.
Direct the delegates to say you're going to support her as the leader of the party now.
Yeah.
They're going to move that forward, and they're just use it for 2 months as a as basically as a popularity contest. Let's just wheel her around. Let's bring her around to Ellen, to The View.
Oprah will do a sit-down interview.
The whole sit-down interview.
She's got 120 million approximately social media followers.
Yeah. So
now I know there's bots and I get it, but
there's got to be some meat
many-fold more than anyone
believe me,
else.
there's meat when you're talking about Big Mike.
Oh yeah.
Hey, here's
and
that.
She's got the Oprah machine behind her.
What did I say? Here's that clip I was talking about.
I saw you slip that one in there. Yeah.
That's what she said. Cut number 19. Here's MSNBC. I told you this is one of those things you don't expect to see on a network like this. This is cut number 19.
Another thing interesting in this polling was more independents said that they worry about President Biden weakening democracy than Trump, 53% to 42%. What do you make of this?
I find it shocking, honestly. I can't.
She can't believe it.
Make sense of that number. I wish I could. I wish I had some really great insight to it. But
I do.
I don't know if it's an outlier or not, because the other numbers with independents and Biden are going in the right direction.
No, they're not.
So that may be it. But also, just one thing I wanted to add on to what Basil said.
You could cut her off here because then she goes off on some nonsense. But basically, she doesn't understand it. Because she's like, well, what's happening? Why don't people believe us anymore? That's the problem.
I think it's all contrived.
And people see, they're like, you know what? These charges, these court things, it's all a load of crap, and they're starting to realize it. So I think it's finally starting to break through.
Or it's contrived. You know, when what's his name came out with that report and said Biden was too old to prosecute. He's just a dumb old man. He's a forgetful old man. I think that was the signal for everybody that to begin the swap out.
Yeah, right. He's too frail. He doesn't remember things. We shouldn't be prosecuting somebody like this. But you go run for president again, dude. You got it. You got all the facilities to get the job done. Speaking of the job, let's kick it over to the man with the sports job, Slick Rick. Slick Rick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Slick, what do you got for us?
All right. Well, we're going to give you an update on the playoff action. A little bit of an upset in brewing in the TD Garden tonight. The Cleveland Cavaliers lead the Boston Celtics 86-74 with just a minute to go in the third. So they better have a big fourth quarter, the Celtics, and they could. But right now, they are trailing by 12 as they head into the fourth quarter. Like I said, just a minute to go in the third. This is game 2 up in Boston with the Celtics leading that Eastern semifinal series 1-0. Mavs at the Thunder down in Oklahoma City. That's a 9:30 p.m. tip-off. OKC looking to take a 2-0 commanding lead before they head back to Dallas. The Rangers have tied up the game in the second period. Chris Kreider on a shorthanded goal. Rangers, the resilient Rangers, I call them. They've tied 1-1. Hurricanes are looking to rally tonight at PNC Arena because they really need this win. Otherwise, they're going to go down 3-0 to the Rangers. And it's only happened 2 or 3 times in NHL history where a team has come back down 3-0. It has never happened in the NBA. So Avalanche and Stars, that's also a game. That's a game 2 tonight. Colorado leading that series 1-0. And this game is at American Airlines Arena. I really believe Dallas needs this win tonight, or that series may also be over. And that's a 9:30 p.m. puck drop later this evening. Let's get to a quick story. Well, Xander Schauffele tops stacked leaderboard after first round of Wells Fargo. We're going to go to the links right now. This is Jake Dougherty of Yard Barker. Xander Schauffele entered this week's Wells Fargo Championship as one of the top favorites to win the signature event, and he showed why in the first round. The American fired a 7-under 64 on a Thursday at a soggy Quail Hollow Club to take the first round lead by 2 strokes. Schauffele started off hot with 5 birdies in his first 8 holes. He stumbled with a bogey on the par 4 18th in his 9th hole of the day, then rattled off 6 straight pars after driving in neutral for a while. The world number 4 finished strong with an eagle on the par 3 7th hole and a birdie on the par 4 9th. The 7-under 64 marked his best first round performance since the American Express in January. So that's first round. We'll keep you on track. And, of course, on Monday, we'll have a full report as to who, what, where, and when the winners came out. So we'll have that. And real quick, NBA Pacers send NBA 78, mark it, 78 allegedly missed calls by officials from games 1 and 2. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. The Indiana Pacers believe officials have wronged them in the first 2 games of their series against the Knicks, and they are letting the league know about it. According to ESPN's Brian Windhorst, the Pacers have sent NBA offices video of what they claim are 78 missed calls by refs officiating the games. Pacers coach Rick Carlisle made headlines Wednesday after getting ejected while arguing a double dribble call during Indiana's 130 to 121 loss to the Knicks. In the post-game press conference, Carlisle said there were 29 missed calls from the game 1 and 49 from game 2, and that all the calls would find their way to the powers that be. I can promise you that we're going to submit these tonight, Carlisle said after the game 2. New York can get ready. They'll see them too. I'm always talking to our guys about not making it about the officials, but we deserve a fair shot. Carlisle specifically mentioned one play involving what he thought should have been a foul on New York's Josh Hart. Interestingly, Carlisle's own players blame themselves and not the officials, but we'll see what happens with that, Rick. But there are some missed calls. I don't know. It looks like the NBA wants to see those Knicks in the finals. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I don't know. You could probably sit down and go through the tape and find 60 or 70 calls that didn't go the Knicks' way. That weren't called. So
I'd have to agree with you to some degree.
When you see the number of fouls called for each team, I think the difference was about 5. Which is pretty close, especially when you're dealing with home teams versus visiting teams. Usually the home teams are going to get a few more fouls. But don't start crying about the officials. Shaquille said it best. He called his dad complaining about officials. His dad hung up the phone and says, I don't want to hear your crap, and hung up the phone on him. Shaq said, okay, I guess I got to fight through it.
That's what I did.
Just play the game.
Shut your trap, Shaq.
Did you ever see what Shaq ate?
All right, we'll be back live from Studio 6B. Real America's Voice. Stay there.
Four turkey sandwiches, and like 2 or 3 Sprites.
He's 7'1", 300 pounds.
Yeah.
That was during his playing days. I'm sure he's
No, he did. He actually went on a big diet a few years ago. He changed his eating. Apparently. Supposedly.
Allegedly. Well, 1 hour in the books.
Salaciously.
No sign of the big guy.
I want to give a shout out to Darmac in the Rumble live chat. Bill of Rights, 1776. What's up, dude? Frederick Leathers.
A lot of people can't wait to see the Flynn interview. Steph 44 in the Getter chat said that.
Lady Vu. Santino. Santino's funny. Nick's dad. B-Wag. Let's see what we got going on in Facebook. Roland Gomez, Lori Berra, Linda Ann Blake, the Coffee Holic. Me too.
Yeah.
I drink half a pot by 5 a.m.
Oh, God. Then you go out and blacktop your driveway.
Yeah, and then I get heartburn until like noon.
Oh, man. Coffee. Are you allowed to rebroadcast that? You're rebroadcasting him?
All right,
what do we got? Top of the hour coming up?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to YouTube Live.
We got any video?
Hello, Drag Blacker. Yes, I did have 3 kids at 23, legitimately.
Hey, Aaron, I'm going to plug my computer. I'm going to plug my computer in here. You want to test this to make sure the volume is okay? Yes, and it's clean. It'd just be.
I think we have. I hope I don't mess this up, but I think it's Staff Sergeant Arby.
SSGT Arby. Yeah.
Is that if that's
which
correct?
Is Staff Sergeant. Yeah. Up. SSGT.
Let me know, Arby.
Arby.
Always great to see you here.
Yeah, he's a good follower.
Moon Pie, Brent Mosey.
Mosey on down.
Yep.
Mosey.
Yeah, Brent Mosey. I started young. I was, in
12.
business young. And...
All right, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Welcome to the program. David Zier is here. Slick Rick is here. You are there. Dish Network Channel 219, Pluto TV, Channel 470, 1029, Samsung TV Plus, and, of course, joining everybody on all the socials, YouTube, Facebook, Getter, Twitter, Kick. Let's see, what else? Where else are we on? The X, the Twitter.
The X.
Right?
Twitter.
Facebook.
The YouTube. What about the YouTube?
Facebook Live.
The YouTubes. Yeah, so we're all on those. Say hello. We try to get into them as quickly as possible, as much as we can throughout the show. Of course, if you're watching through the on those chats, then you can see what happens during the breaks.
Yes.
And you're just like, hey, you guys don't have to check in. You're too busy being idiots, and we don't really want to talk to you.
Yeah, we're talking to the people.
Right.
David was shouting at everybody.
That's true. David was doing a roundabout shout.
A whole roll call.
Who were you doing a roll call on there?
Everybody.
Was that Facebook?
YouTube Live.
You were on YouTube?
Facebook.
Okay.
Rumble.
No, but you were calling out specific names.
Oh, Staff Sergeant.
I was just
Staff
wondering.
Sergeant Arby.
I was just wondering which platform you were on.
All of them.
All of them.
I was
You
going
just kept
across.
bouncing? Oh, okay.
I have 7 open on my screen because Rumble has 2, right? We have LFS6B and then we got Rav. I don't have Kick open. It's the only one I don't. I'm going to do that in a minute.
We have 3 people on there.
You know, we're juggling live TV.
Oh,
and
7. Francis, we have 7 people on Kick.
Yeah. So welcome, Kick
the habit.
What's up, Kickers?
Who knows? You might
grateful.
surprise us and be the biggest growth we have. So keep it up.
That's right.
We'll try and get
very
more
grateful
people over to
for
Kick.
that audience.
Yeah, exactly. David Zier, of course, his show Saturday morning, Breaking Point. Who do you have on?
Well, I got a special edition sitting down with Nick Giordano from the host of the PAS Report, and we're talking about what's going on the college campuses. So I got more clips for you tonight.
All right, very good. Slick has got some sports, which we will be doing in just a little bit. But remember, just before the break, if you were with us, we were talking about how it seems like more and more people are starting to talk about the dumping of Joe Biden. They've gotten the high sign. The people from the upstairs, the ones who pull the strings and get everything going, are saying, okay, it's time to. I think we got to take this guy out. ABC's doing fact checks on CNN's interview with him, calling him out on the 9% lie in terms of inflation, being that he says it was 9% when he got into office. That's just the most recent time he can remember being in office was when it was at 9%. So that's a problem too. And like I mentioned, Dan Bongino for the last couple days, I think the last couple weeks even, he's mentioned this, but the last 2 days in particular, he's mentioned they're getting ready to dump Joe Biden. And I pulled it from today's podcast that he did. It's about 20, 25 seconds. You can hear it for yourself. And he says the same thing we've been saying here for since I don't know when. But we've been saying they're going to dump him. The prediction is at the convention, so he can scoop up the delegates and direct those delegates. Here's who you're going to support and anoint the next person to hear. Check it out for yourself.
Now, folks, the desperation's kicking in. I already told you they're getting ready to scrap this guy. I promise you by the convention, there is going to be behind closed doors conversations that are already happening right now, but are starting to really heat up. I've got a number of people leaking this out to me. There is a very, very credible movement right now to dump this loser at the convention.
There you have it. Right there. Dump this loser at the convention. The easiest place to do it is going to be at the convention. Sure. It's going to be a celebration. Yep. They're going to have all the delegates there. And, they hold the super delegates and they wield the power and they tell them this is who you're going to vote for. And the Democratic Party's been doing this for decades. They don't really give you a choice. They just say, here is who you're going to vote for, and that's it. Like it or not. and everybody corrals around and they support their candidate, and that's it.
Yeah, and to your credit, Rick, you've been calling that now for close to a year, telling us about that. That was where it's going to happen. And I've been riding with you, so I think we're onto something.
So there you have it. More confirmation that I'm not crazy. Not like Kristi Noem.
No.
Oh.
Kristi Noem, she's crazy.
There's a school. There's a school out there that has been saying it since the end of 2022. And
what? That Kristi Noem is crazy?
No, I don't think she's crazy. I love Kristi Noem.
Well, then you're.
But she's hurt herself. There's no doubt. But she's a good governor.
Regardless of the governor fact, she's lying.
Well,
she's lying on TV. And she's getting caught.
She really put herself in a terrible position.
Terrible position.
There's no doubt. But I was talking about Michelle Obama running.
Oh, I'm not talking about Michelle Obama. I'm talking about Kristi Noem. She's the nuts. Yeah. Let's go back to the thing that kicked it all off. This is cut number 8. This is Kristi Noem on Face the Nation when they first asked her about the Kim Jong-un thing. I mean, it's very simple. It's a softball question. Yeah. Knock it out of the park and move on.
She can't answer it.
She can't do it. Check it out.
Talk about meeting some world leaders and one specific one. Quote, I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. I've been a children's pastor after all. Did you meet Kim Jong-un?
Yes or no question?
Well, as soon as this was brought to my attention, I certainly made some changes and looked at this passage. And I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. As soon as it was brought to my attention, we went forward and have made some edits. So I'm glad that this book is being released in a couple of days, and that those edits will be in place, and that people will have the updated version.
So you did not meet with Kim Jong-un?
It got weird like 2 months ago when she started to do dentist ads in Texas.
Now she's got the hair extension. She did the Botox. She got the teeth done. So now it starts with Face the Nation. Then she goes on Jesse Waters, and he asks about Kim Jong-un. Cut number 3.
Me for it, Jesse.
Yeah, they are. So they're also attacking you. I guess you said you met Kim Jong-un.
Very simple.
Did you meet him?
Softball.
I've been to the DMZ. I've been to North Korea. I don't talk about my conversations with world leaders. And so when I looked at the book and I saw that excerpt, I decided to make the change to the content of the book, and that's been done.
So you didn't have a conversation with Kim when you were at the DMZ?
I don't have conversations about my conversations with world leaders. I've been working on policy for 30 years, Jesse, and that's what most people don't remember.
Did it again. A softball. And you know what's crazy about this,
Jesse Waters is very popular.
And that's a very safe space for her to do that, to say, you know what? Yeah, I didn't do it.
You're right.
Whatever. But she couldn't do it, right? Cut number 4. Now from Newsmax, the same thing happens again. She just won't answer the question. Go.
I agree with you there. But going back to what you said a moment ago, maybe not lying to the American people. And I think this is important to talk about because the book's called No Going Back, the truth on what's wrong with politics. And I think part of the problem with politics today is that politicians aren't honest with the American people. So if you asked me a month ago, who's at the top of the list to run with Donald Trump, I would have said your name. If you asked me that same question this morning, I don't even think you're on the list.
Really?
So my question for you, yes, really, and it's because of things that have come out in this book, like your claims that you met Kim Jong-un, and then over the last week,
I've been to the DMZ, I've been to area. What I've said
is that... Did you stare down Kim Jong-un? Let me, Governor, 1 second. I will give you an opportunity to respond. I just want to get this out there. So here's the quote from the book. You say that, I remember when I met North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. Governor, that never happened, did it?
What I have said in the book is that when I became aware of the content, that we had it changed. And that's the way that it is.
Did you meet Kim Jong-un?
I should not have put that anecdote in the book. I'm not going to talk about my meetings.
Indicates that it happened,
I'm not going to talk about my conversations with world leaders. I've been involved in policy for 30 years.
3 shows.
For 30 years, I've been traveling the world.
It doesn't stop there. You can blow her up there, too, because... Just wait. There's more.
Wow.
Yes, of course. Why wouldn't there be?
It's a garden of gnomes,
let's go to cut number 7 because she continues.
But clearly, if you're taking it out of the book, it's because it's untrue.
I've given you my answer. No, and that's not the answer. I would say that, this is something that I asked to have adjusted and have the content and that name removed.
Adjusted.
And that is truly what the action has been.
You said when you learned of it, you immediately took action. You recorded the whole book, the audiobook. You read this whole passage out loud. Why didn't you take it out then when you read the audiobook?
I've traveled for years. I've been involved in policy for almost 30 years. And so I've gone all across the world. I've met with world leaders.
So you didn't realize when you recorded the audiobook?
When it was brought to my attention, and I asked the publisher if they would remove the name, and they did.
Okay,
but she didn't. She will not answer the question. What happens then? Well, she was booked on CNN. Cut number 5. She and guess what, David? Do you think she showed up? Cut number 5.
Oof. Governor Noem was scheduled to be on this program, Inside Politics, today. Her team reached out to us weeks ago to book her here, and we reconfirmed earlier this week. She abruptly canceled last night. We want to say...
Yes, and not only did she cancel CNN, then she ends up canceling Fox News. Again, a very safe place for her to go to try to clean this all up. Cut number 6.
Yeah.
So, this weekend I did something I rarely do. I read a guest book for a segment we had planned. It's called No Going Back by Kristi Noem. Who knew the title was referring to this show? Because today she canceled on us. Yeah. The one time I actually read the book. And the author, the person whose name is on the book, cancels, blames the weather. I don't believe it. I just think it's a little late to keep her on a short leash. I hope she'd reconsider, but I'm not going to sit up and beg.
Yeah. There you have it.
At any rate, every dog has its day. It's just not May 7th, 2024, and I'm not going to let them waste my time.
I don't think she deserves to be treated like that. I mean, I don't like it if it's a lie.
She's basically going around all these interviews and lying, and this is the result of what happens, because now people are going to tool on her about it.
Yeah.
Evidence is here in cut number 1. If you want to see it for yourself, listen to what one of the questions is. She's going to get this wherever she goes now. Cut number 1.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yes, Governor. Is Kim Jong-un in the room with us right now?
Right?
It's bad.
She's going to get that all over the place.
It's very bad. But, during COVID, she did an incredible job in South Dakota.
Doesn't matter. We're not talking about that.
Can I just say something, please? I just wanted to say that she's in the top 10 governors in popularity for the past many years. And I'm trying to say that it's a downfall for her. It's terrible.
It doesn't matter, because we play these clips all the time of Senator Kennedy asking these people questions. Just answer it. Yes or no. Do you know?
Well, she was lying, and now she's caught in the lie. It's tragic.
And she won't just stop.
And then when you start backpedaling, it's bad. When you're better off just saying, you know what? Yeah, that was a mistake.
You know what? I would forgive her if maybe she got the name wrong. Maybe she got the name wrong. Maybe she ended up maybe she had a bout of Harry on the Highway, cut number 9, where he gets the name wrong, but he doesn't realize it. How about that?
Who did you say? This is what got me started on this. I'm crying. I have tears rolling down my eyes. I'm crying. I'm laughing so hard.
I started singing Thank God It's Friday.
Who did you say you found a picture of?
Kim Jong-un.
Maybe she was talking about Kim Jong-un.
And who might I ask is that?
Rocket Man.
Oh.
Who? Rocket Man. Little Rocket
Are you
boy.
talking about the North Korean leader?
That guy.
Yeah.
And what's his name?
Kim Jong-un.
It's still funny. 2 years later.
All right. Well, that's why Harry takes the 4 years later. He doesn't talk the politics here on the show.
That's 4 years ago. Oh, my God. Wow.
Holy moly. 4 years ago. Maybe she was having a conversation with him, and it was Kim Jong-un.
That's always a career ruiner.
That'll ruin everybody's career.
The great Harry Oates.
Should 2% unemployment in South Dakota.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We come back, sports and news. And, more. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Stay there. Back in the chat.
And we're back.
Oh, you know what? I forgot my drink. Family claim of alien sighting can't be denied.
Oh, get on that, Rick.
I'm on it. Alien story.
Is that new?
It's brand new. It just broke. Las Vegas alien videos previously missed detail proves authenticity, experts say. You can't deny it. That. Told you. Hashtag told you.
I wanted to get some of these videos in.
Yeah, we'll start. We'll start now. You want me to? We'll go to you first, and then do sports.
Whatever you want.
How long are they?
Well, I mean, I don't know. 2 minutes, 1 minute.
All right, so you could do like 2 here.
Seconds. Yeah.
Like you could do.
I could stagger like 2 and 2.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Boy, looks like Big D is a gnome show.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Which one did I play 1 or 2 videos before? I think I played 1, yeah. Cut 14.
Is he?
Damon didn't say how late he was going to be.
I thought he was a gnome show.
Running a little late from the final segment.
No, anytime there's like a debate about him, forget it. He ain't coming. He's supposed to keep you on your toes. It's like your parents. What time are you going to be home? Well,
you know,
we'll probably, I'm not sure. We might be early tonight. Okay. You know?
When
we have a live read here?
No read. Oh, man.
Hallelujah. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. You know what? I gotta check something I was doing earlier. Where is this guy? The comic. Oh my goodness. I'm terrible. I stink at this internet stuff. I used to be good at it. Now my brain doesn't work too good. Anyhow. Slick Rick has got sports. We'll do that in just a little bit. In the meantime, David Zier has got some news and some clips. Let's turn it over to you, David, the host of Breaking Point Saturday mornings, every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, right here on Real America's Voice. David, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I was saying, when Kristi Noem starts giving the right a hard time, that's a problem. That's really not a good situation.
Credibility.
And again, she was doing it in friendly confines.
Well, that's my point.
Right.
And it's just like,
hey, in the right locker room,
here's your team. They're willing to go to bat for you. All you got to do is come clean and say, yeah, I didn't really meet him. I was supposed to meet him. It didn't work out, but I was getting ready to, kind of stare him down. She could have did that, and people would have been like, oh, I could see you wanted to be aggressive and make your presence known.
Not a good move.
But it didn't happen. So just say it didn't happen. But I was ready for it if it happened.
Yeah. So, I got this special coming out, and I just have a few clips on it, but I wanted to play another from my General Flynn interview, another clip here. Cut number 15, where are our leaders screaming about the Trump frame-up and hit job going on?
People have got to stop saying, poor Trump and Trump. This is against us. This is against the American people. Trump is at the pointy end of the spear right now. And yes, he is the guy that we've got to get him over the line here and get him back into the White House so we can have some breathing room. But these people want to take over this country. They want to get rid of a guy like Trump. They want to get rid of a guy like General Flynn. They want to get rid of some of these other people that are in their way. And this is not just, where are the governors? Where are the Republican governors of this country standing up, talking like I'm talking right now? Where are the senators? Where are the members of the House of Representatives? They're all, whining about Mike Johnson. Where are they screaming about Donald J. Trump right now, who's being, I mean, what a hit job this is.
Yeah. He's right on the money. And then I have Nick Giordano. We're talking about what's going on. And my interaction with my friend Rich Higgins, who passed away, got fired by McMaster during the Trump administration, talking about the watermelon. This is crazy. Cut number 11. This is manifesting itself. And I always compare it to an acquaintance of mine who passed away, Rich Higgins from the National Security Council. He was head of strategic planning for the National Security Council under Trump. He was fired by McMaster for warning the world that there's a deep state against Donald Trump. And part of his position was the watermelon, which is green on the outside for the Islamic State and red in the middle for progressive leftist Marxism and cultural Marxism and communism around the globe. Can you make the connection between our colleges, the counterculture, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and this, pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian? Where does that meet?
Well, when you look at the idea behind Marxism, it's all about class warfare, right? You have the working class overthrow the elite, and that's the way. However, that never worked in the United States. They weren't successful. And the reason they weren't successful is because generally people live good lives in the middle class. We have more access to goods and stuff, and we can take care of our families, put food on the table, put a roof over our head. So the class warfare never worked in the United States. However, they realized that the racial warfare will work in the United States. The United States is an extremely unique country. We're the only country where we have all these different peoples from all these different places that come together to form a nation. That's why our motto is E pluribus unum, out of many comes one.
Right.
Other countries have 2,000 years of a shared history. They have shared culture, shared tradition, shared language. We have none of that. And so they recognize that the way you try and divide the United States, given our past and the differences and the conflicts between the race, is get the races, pit them against each other. And they've been successful. You know, people talk a lot about diversity, equity, inclusion today, but diversity, equity, inclusion has been built into the system over a long period of time. It's not something that's new. And that's what it does. It divides everyone into all these little groups, and then it pits the oppressor versus the oppressed, who they deem as the oppressor, victimizer versus the victim. And unfortunately, they have been successful because we're witnessing the results in real time now. Now, if you look at the Islamic part to this, look at their signs that they're protesting with. You'll see Marxist for Palestine, Democrat Socialists of America for Palestine, Queers for Palestine. All these progressive causes latch on to things that they think will draw more sympathy to their cause.
It was really great. So check it out, 8 a.m. on Saturday. But I have one more quick story for you. You know, Senate Armed Services Committee hearing got heated this week, and Washington Times has a good breakdown about that we're not ready for hypersonic missile attacks from Russia, and that if a missile was screaming towards a carrier in our fleet, will it get through? And they've used hypersonic missiles, at least one in Ukraine. And we got to get our act together. And it appears that the Biden administration is not addressing this in the new defense budget. So just something to pay attention to. And I have more for you later, Rick.
Yeah, I don't know how much I believe that. Because when you talk about the hypersonic technology, that comes from us. How are we not ready? And when I remember President Trump, when he was in office, saying, I've seen things that we have that they would not be able to understand.
Well, you would hope so, but the point is that where are our priorities under the Biden administration?
Well, we know where they are.
And there's a lot of criticism coming out of the Senate Armed Services Committee about it.
They're not on defense, so to speak. They're trying to weaken us from inside. But in terms of I think in terms again of the materials, the things that we have, I think it's beyond what everybody is told.
Well.
Think about it. We found out about the stealth bomber when they used it in '92 for the first Gulf War. that thing had been around for, 15 years?
Yeah,
and then we found out about it?
Yeah, remember the National Enquirer articles in the 80s about, these planes in the desert. But, I know a lot about, Navy defense stuff and everything, and I hope we'd be ready for something like that. But the Russians' tactics are to overwhelm. When they were a superpower, their goal was to send Tu-26 backfire bombers with 15,000 pound kitchen bombs, and they would have, 10 of them or 20 of them to overwhelm our combat air patrols and stuff. So, the Russians aren't dumb. They're still, somewhat of a threat, and they have nukes. So it's something to pay attention to, and I hope we are on the forefront of protecting our fleet.
Yeah, we're so much of a threat, too, that we're sharing a base with them in Niger. Isn't that crazy? We have 1,000 troops on the same base with Russian troops. They're just living next to each other, hanging out, waiting for things to start. Nah, it's not all contrived, is it?
Not at all.
Not at all. Oh, you didn't hear about that story? They don't want to tell you about that.
I know
story.
about
Yeah, you know about that story. I know about that story. But let's face it, a lot of people don't. Hey, this story just breaking, believe it or not, from, let's see. It says Cornell University President Martha Pollack has announced that she will retire her position in an email. I guess a little too much of that Palestinian protesting on campus has caused things to go awry for the president of Cornell University. She acknowledged that there will be a lot of speculation about her decision and emphasized that she independently decided to retire from her role after extensive reflection of her face in the mirror and seeing all those freaking protesters ripping apart the university. So she's stepping down. She's going to wait till the end of June to do that. But, hey.
She's moving on.
She's moving on. We'll do sports when we get back. Take a quick break. And we'll do some more. We got more clips with David Zier as well. Coming up right after the break. Live from Studio 6B. Stay there. That is
sure. Donovan Mitchell had 20 so far.
He only had 20. I think he'd have like
45. Yeah.
That's called adjustments.
Yeah, that's a big that series on now, man.
Yeah, they took one at home. They took one in Boston.
Yes, that's huge. That is huge. Huge.
It's huge. Let's see who's in the. Who can we say hi to in the chats there, David? Anybody you're conversing with that you think is cool?
A lot of nice people. Rebecca Allgaier in there, Donna Peterson, Danny Hatton,
Danny,
Lori Berra. I think I mentioned her earlier, and it's a lot of people that we see a lot, but a lot of new viewers, which is exciting.
That's the good thing. So remember, if you're just finding us for the first time, especially on these, on the social media chats, and follow us on our pages too, and that'll be fun. Where am I going? Where am I going to try? Let me go back to. Let me try X again. X. Wow, we got 1.3 in there. That's a good night. Starting to pick up some people. Man, it's not working. How come I can't get in the chat?
Is it up to the minute?
Yeah, it's up to the minute. I see you not looking at the camera. Let's see.
Why can't I text in the Twitter chat?
That's the cure.
It did go through? Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, it looked like it was grayed out. Yeah, got it.
Good night.
Hey, remember the comic? What's his name? Let me make sure I have it here. I was trying to do this before.
Does he have more viewers now?
Josh Ocean Thomas He had 838 followers on X when we played his clip and we talked about it. He's now up to 1,132.
Oh, wow.
All right. Keep following.
People are asking about if you saw the UFO, Delgado. Fox
Yes,
News.
I have that story.
Fox News says it's real.
They're saying it's real.
Where was that?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, you remember all the tabloids were reporting.
Las Vegas.
They were reporting the stealth fighters, 7 years before they were used in Panama.
I don't know if I trust eyewitness accounts out of Vegas for various reasons.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you know what?
Odds are it's not true.
All right, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. David Zier's got some news. Slick Rick has got sports. Real quick, Damon is running late. He will be joining us right at the start at hour number 3, so make sure you join us for that.
Tune in.
Tune in. Las Vegas alien video. I told you about it. Here it is. Thank you, friend. Las Vegas alien video, this coming from Fox News, just broke. Previously missed detail proves authenticity, experts say. You can't deny it. When the Las Vegas family told police they saw something not human in their backyard, they were not lying. A veteran crime scene recreation expert said. Scott Roeder of the Evidence Room Animation and Exhibits used his expertise and motion tracking software to analyze the video of the purported UFO crash landing in the Sin City last April. He told News Nation they tried to debunk the responding officer's body cam footage or proof something was added to the video. Now he says he is convinced that there were two creatures creeping around the family's Las Vegas yard that night. All of our results came back as authentic, according to Roeder. He said there was no editing. This is original video. So there you have it. You can go on to and look for that because it was a big story last year. We talked about it. Las Vegas crash Las Vegas UFO witness. And if you just put that in your search, you'll pull up that video. Well, according to this guy who's an expert in this kind of stuff, he says it's authentic. They can't find any deception within the video. I know Fran's pretty good at sniffing these things out too. So if he's got any updates, he'll make sure to let us know if we've been that's the gobsmacked over this.
That's the one with the alien in the backyard.
Yeah. And they're using the police body cam footage.
That was pretty freaky.
It was freaky. Still is. So, he had a weird looking face, big feet, big shiny eyes, and a big mouth, according to this. And I'm not talking about Slick Rick. Speaking of Slick Rick, let's do some sports. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to mypillow.com. Use our code LFS6B at checkout and get this great new Trump pizza T-shirt. Yes. There you go. Get the squatters out of your house when you show up with a piece of pizza this size.
Anchovies.
Hell out.
Extra anchovies.
Slick, take us away. What do you got?
All right, well, we got a big upset in the NBA playoffs, and up in Boston, TD Garden, the Cleveland Cavaliers went into town and took Game 2. They defeated the Boston Celtics 118-94. Cavs star forward Donovan Mitchell with 29 points, Rick. So that series is tied at 1. Game on. I tell you, we'll see what happens there, but man, that's pretty good.
Especially after the first game, everybody thought this is going to be a 4-0.
Oh, I did.
Everybody thought it was going to be a sweep.
They beat them by what? 25 points. I think.
Cleveland terrible.
Yeah,
but maybe they were just hungover from their previous series.
That's it. But that could have been right. Could have been a little bit of jet lag there too. They had to travel, and but hey, Cleveland and Boston not that far. But still, you're right. I think tiredness. It was a rough series, right? 7 games.
Yeah, 7 games.
It wasn't easy. But with Milwaukee, they beat Milwaukee, right? Right? Yeah, Milwaukee.
No.
Oh, who?
Orlando
Magic, right? So that was a great 7-game series. And the Mavs taking on the Thunder. That's a 9:30 p.m. tip-off, just about underway over in Oklahoma City. And the Rangers have gone ahead 2-1. Alexei Lafreniere with the goal. It puts the Rangers up 2-1, looking to take a commanding 3-0 lead in that series. I tell you, every game has been relatively close, but I got to tell you, Hurricanes just can't put the puck in the net. They look like the New York Islanders. 8 minutes to go in the game. We'll see if they can tie it up. If not, Rangers again look like they'll be closing that series out. If not Saturday, certainly by early next week. Avalanche taking on the Stars down in Dallas. Puck dropped 9:30, which means they probably just dropped that puck, and that's game 2. Colorado leading that series 1-0. Avs looking to tie things up. Let's jump over to baseball. I gave you some final scores earlier. Games in action right now in Chicago. The White Sox lead the Guardians 3-0, top of the 5th. Brewers up 6-1 in Milwaukee over the Cardinals. That's in the top of the 7th. And, the only other game that's going to be on tonight will be 9:38 in just a couple of minutes. Out in L.A., the Angels will be taking on the Royals. So we won't have much to talk about that. Maybe I'll give you an update on the scores right at the end of the show there. A quick story or two, if I may. I will. I definitely will. Definitely. Okay, I'm due. Let's see. We got... the Knicks are going to rule. They're ruling Anunoby out for Game 3, and Jalen Brunson is also questionable with that foot. So Knicks with a big Game 3 tomorrow night. Got to see what they'll do there. But we'll see. Looking good right now. And what else do we have real quick? Aces celebrate at White House as Biden hails women's sports. AP report, Rick. What do you know? The Aces went to the White House, and Kamala and Joe were there. Washington, this is AP report. President Joe Biden welcomed the reigning WNBA champion, the Las Vegas Aces. Boy, I wonder if he was actually able to pronounce that right. To the White House on Thursday, celebrating what he called a banner year for women's basketball. It matters to girls and women finally seeing themselves represented. Imagine Biden said during the celebration held in the East Room of the White House, it matters to all Americans. That's why, as a nation, we need to support women's sports. Both he and Vice President Kamala Harris were given the customary jerseys from the winning team. As he held his up, Biden yelled, "Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play." In her own remarks, Harris praised the team for playing with such joy and being role models both on and off the basketball court. You simply inspire people across our nation and around the world, Harris said. The Las Vegas Aces defeated the New York Liberty in the WNBA championship in October to win their second consecutive WNBA title. So Joe rolling out the red carpet.
And you can tell Kamala does not watch women's basketball. They do not play with joy. They play to win.
Yeah.
they play with a little bit of anger and a chip on their shoulder. Say what you want about women's sports, but, when they're playing up against, and we don't watch a lot of it. We'll watch, hey, this is a big game or whatever.
You'll watch Caitlin Clark, right. That type of thing, sure.
When you're playing for a championship, you're not playing with joy. You're playing with a chip on your shoulder. You want that championship.
Oh, so, no question about it.
She's a doofus.
Boy, still a lot of fallout from this Tom Brady roast, I got to tell you, boy.
Really? Still?
Belichick and Kraft, there were tension there because they were both in the venue. So it's just crazy how that became such a big thing. What was that? That was on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it was on Sunday.
Yeah, I didn't even bother watching it, but I heard it was funny. Did you catch it?
Which one are you talking about on
the
Netflix?
Tom Brady, they did a roast of him.
Yeah, I watched some of it. It was good.
Sunday, I think?
Yeah, it was Sunday. I think you can rewatch it again. Of course, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yes.
There was some good harsh. It was nice to see, and I think Damon watched it
and girl
said it was surprising. Nikki Glaser, yeah.
Nikki Glaser has a new comedy special coming out in about a week or two.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a wrap in sports, Rick. Back to you.
All right. Thank you very much. Slick Rick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Let's kick it over to David Zier. What else you got for us, David?
A lot going on. I'll be on American Sunrise tomorrow at about 8:45 a.m. in the Stay Awake, Not Woke segment. I'm going to leave the courthouse to go do a hit and then maybe talk about what's going on inside the courtroom, but court doesn't start till 9:30. And then throughout the day, I'll be sending updates out. And I have another interview segment here. Cut number 12, college faculty pushing anti-American messaging for decades. Steve Bannon made a great movie. I went to the premiere back in 2010 in New York City called Generation Zero. And it was about post-World War II generation and what led to the financial crisis. They spoiled the kids so much. They created the hippie culture, and then they became the people that ran Wall Street, and now they're running our government. And, so it's a multi-generational thing. How much of this is the fault of the college faculty or the administrators? Or where are they getting the money from? So how much of this is on them and fomenting this?
Well, every bad idea usually comes out of a university campus and then seeps out into our society. So if we go back, let's say 50 years, we all disagreed on political issues, right? That's a free society. In free societies, division is okay. People say division is bad. No, in free societies, you're going to have division. You want unity, go to North Korea. It's a lovely place this time of year. But the reality...
Great beaches.
Right? But the reality is that even with those differences of opinion on political issues, the people of the United States came together in the understanding of our history, our founding. They had a love of America. They had an appreciation for what the founding fathers did, that we recognized. We have flaws, we committed sins, but we've always worked to overcome those flaws and sins and advance as a nation. But at the same time, you have the Marxist takeover within the college campuses. Well, then you were getting a new breed where you didn't have that love and appreciation. It was being indoctrinated in the head that the United States is an evil country, that it was founded on the sin of slavery. That's the sole basis for the existence of the United States. And it's all about racism.
Yeah, CRT had its first concept in Madison, Wisconsin, right?
Well, think about what they're trying to do. If you are told from kindergarten, because it starts that early, it actually goes pre-kindergarten if you look at some of the shows that are on. But if you start at a very young age, all through college, telling people that they come from this horrible country that's based on evil, how are they ever going to be able to be loyal to that country? How do they appreciate coming from that country? And what we see on these campuses today is the bitterness and resentment that's been building up for years of this anti-American message.
Yeah, so, he's right on target there. Also, some of these anti-Israel protests in the Washington Times reporting today, they've been supported by organizations that travel to communist Cuba to receive resistance training, according to their investigative reports of Gelet Martinez Fragela. And also, Congress is formally probing Princeton University's ties to Iranian regime officials. So
now, why are they probing their ties? What's going on there?
I haven't delved into that story yet. I just found that a little while ago. Washington Times has been doing some really good work, and I'll bring you that maybe on Monday.
Okay, I'm just asking because I know we played that clip of Maxine Waters talking about, we're going to ask the president to look into those guys training in the hills and, all that stuff that we know that's going on with Antifa. We found out last year with Georgia when they attacked the police training facility, these organized fascists from Antifa. But now MSNBC is continuing with their, again, it's almost like Joe Biden. They just can't help themselves. They've got something brewing, and they want to tell everybody about it, but they're not supposed to. So they kind of leak it out there. This is cut number 22 I'm talking about. And again, they're telling you something's going to happen. Check it out for yourself. Cut 22.
Donald Trump is a phenomenon that's not going away, and I'm wondering when the Democratic Party is going to figure out. You can make fun of him, you can talk about him being on trial and everything like that. He's not going away. Yeah. None of this seems to be damaging him with the core of his support.
No, and you look at Wisconsin, and that is just absolutely ground zero for probably the state of the three most important states where this election is going to be decided. And the polling, the recent polling is so close that it just shows how this election is going to be such a nail biter and really subject to what crazy event is going to happen and ultimately shake it in one direction or the other over the next 6 months or so.
To Lisa's point, there were a pair of polls released just.
She just again, they can't help themselves because she's saying we know something's going to happen. We've been told. We're not exactly sure we know exactly what the details are, but we know we're coming at them for that October surprise. Maybe it'll happen in September. Maybe it'll happen in August. But it's going to happen.
Buongiorno,
Biden. Just be ready for the crazy. We're telling you it's coming. They're setting it up. Anyhow, all right, we'll come back. We'll do some more sports. One more sports wrap up. A little more with David Zier. And with you guys, we'll say hello one more time in the chat. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Stay there.
I spent 30 seconds on it.
We can do that.
Sports is weak tonight. Not a lot going on today. Caitlin Clark lost. They lost her home preseason debut. 83. Only had 12 points. Humanity. I don't think she'll have a.
All right, what else we got going on? Let's see who else in the chat there is doing stuff. I did my UFO story. You're welcome. Let me see what our new friend of the show is doing in terms of followers.
Who's Brian Boyajian? That Boyajian? That a Real Real Housewives star?
I don't know who that is.
I don't either. It was Shohei Ohtani's interpreter.
11:37. So he's still in the 11:30s zone. Josh Ocean Thomas. That's the comic on X that we played his clip earlier. Should we play it again before the end of the show? What do you think?
It's hilarious.
Yeah, people who maybe missed the first segment didn't see it. Maybe we'll do that. That'll be fun. All right, Aaron? What? Are you talking to me? I don't want to talk to you. Yeah, we'll play it again just before the end of the show. Sound like a good time? Sound like fun? Yeah, sweet. We got 1.5 in the X chat. Why can't I get to the chat part? Like Damon was complaining about it last night. He couldn't get to it. I can't get to it tonight. It's the weirdest thing.
I can get to it on a desktop. I can't get to it on my phone for some reason.
I was getting onto it on my phone all last night. So odd. Unless I was chatting to some other people who didn't even watch the show. That would have been fun. Shut up, Aaron. Don't make fun of me. All right, let me go back to the Rumblers. The Rumblers. They're all a bunch of Marxist Fs. You are correct. Live chat. You got it? Put the volume down. Ah, shit.
Oh, Sugar Smacks.
I don't actually want to.
Remember Sugar Smacks? That was good cereal.
I love the Sugar Smack. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Like I said, Damon's going to join us at the top of the hour. So we'll see you then. In the meantime, Slick Rick has got some sports. David's here's got some more news. Do you have any more? I know you said you found.
Yeah, I just have an update.
Oh yeah. Do the update.
So there's several different outlets. About a week ago, somebody was reporting about Princeton University in the Jerusalem Post about a professor there, and the Ivy League, the president of. I think he's the president of Princeton, Saeed Hossein Mousavian.
Oh, very Irish.
For his alleged role in the assassination of 20 Iranian dissidents. He served previously as the ambassador to Germany in Iran under Rafsanjani. And I believe terrorists went into a restaurant and killed these Kurdish dissidents. So, no surprise, something like that would be related to Princeton. But Princeton set up a Palestinian liberation zone. There's also parents who are upset. In the Daily Caller released this a few hours ago that students who traveled to Iran and the Middle East, I think it was back in 2014, were kidnapped. And Princeton University kind of intervened in the affairs and failed.
Weren't they hikers?
That might have been the hikers.
Was that the hikers?
That might have been the hikers. That was a big story back then.
Yeah, I remember that story. Like, who goes to Iran? I think I'll go hiking.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Appalachians? Maybe Mount Washington or something?
Yeah.
No, we're going to go to Iran. Why?
but their criticism is of the Princeton student exchange program, back in 2014 as well. And one of the university's Iran Center's officials, Mustafa Zahrani, was a senior Iranian foreign diplomat linked to the country's military, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, and other things. So, Princeton is probably collaborating with some bad actors, especially when it comes to the pro-Palestinian cause, which is in effect Hamas. So
yeah,
I thought those were interesting things that have come up.
Yeah, they definitely are. And again, we've talked about this before, so many of these other stories, because we're so hyper fixated on the big ones that are grabbing everybody's attention and everybody has an opinion on, that we sometimes lose sight of these things. East Palestine, Hawaii. Somebody reminded me of Hawaii. Like, what is happening in Hawaii, in Maui?
Yeah.
Like, why do we not hear about one of the most destructive fires that has ever hit a part of the United States? Why is nobody talking about it?
Might as well be a foreign country.
Yeah. Has it already been fixed? Did they not tell us? They already fixed everything up and everybody's happy again? They found all the kids that were missing?
Yeah.
No, of course not. Because they don't want you to talk about that stuff.
Wow. That's a good point.
And I wish I could remember who said, hey, don't forget about Maui and Hawaii. And it's like, you're right. Because again, these are some of those stories that kind of go by the wayside. Another story that's may not be getting attention. Real quick, David, here, pay attention to this one. National climate emergency. 3 deadly words as far as this country's concerned. According to Steve Forbes, he says you're going to pay for it if the president declares a climate emergency, as it would wreck the U.S. economy and Americans will suffer with, you guessed it, higher energy prices. And what do higher energy prices translate into? Higher prices for everything. You want to drive somewhere, it's going to cost you more to move your car. It's going to cost you more to shop. Why? Because, they got to get the food to the store somehow, and they need energy to do it. Declaring a national climate emergency, according to him, would wreck the U.S. economy, according to the Forbes media chairman and editor-in-chief Steve Forbes, a 2-time Republican president candidate, was responding to rumors that top advisors to, you guessed it, President Joe Biden have resumed talks about invoking a climate emergency, a significant move that would unlock federal powers to curtail oil development. That means we're going to pay for it, he says, with an even more troubled economy, adding that Americans will suffer the consequences with these higher energy prices. Energy bills, of course, you live it, you know it, you see them going up.
Yep.
Rumors that this emergency climate proclamation could be used to halt crude oil exports and suspend offshore drilling. That started all to resurface last month when Bloomberg poked the White House for confirmation that the administration is considering such a move. Spokesperson Angelo Hernandez sounds like a Mexican baseball player. Declined to comment specifically on any internal discussions, which means yes, they're talking about it and they don't want you to know. Instead, Hernandez said President Biden has treated the climate crisis as an emergency since day one, and will continue to build a clean energy future that lowers utility bills, creates good-paying union jobs, makes our economy the envy of the world, priorities communities that are far too long left behind.
We're still producing more oil than ever, but it's about 13 million barrels a day. But estimates are that if Trump was president, we'd be up to 16 millions a day.
It's amazing.
Millions of barrels a day.
So there you have it. More stories, again, that are kind of slipping by that we're not touching upon. And, part of it is our fault. We get kind of sucked up into the big stuff, too, as well. So we'll try and do a better job. Slick Rick has got final sports blast of the evening. Brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com. Use our code at checkout. Send us the receipt with our code on it. You'll get a free T-shirt. Slick, what do you got?
Well, what do we got? We got a good one in Carolina. They rallied back in PNC Arena.
And
Andrei Svechnikov, with 1:37 to go, has tied the game at 2. They're in overtime now, Rangers and Hurricanes. Hurricanes pretty much in a must-win game here, down 2-0, looking to get a win on their home ice tonight, so they must be going wild there. Something tells me the Rangers, they're so resilient, they'll probably score the next goal. We'll see what happens. I got. Let's see who. Mika Zibanejad with the goal for the game winner. That's what I'm going to call it right now. And I'm not even a Ranger fan. Avalanche and Stars just underway. Puck getting ready to drop right now. That's a good one. Colorado leading that series 1-0. Of course, Dallas looking to even things up. Gave you that upset earlier tonight. The Cavaliers went into TD Garden tonight and upset the Boston Celtics 118-94. That series is all tied at 1. And Mavs and Thunder. Well, the Mavs came out. They had a big. They were up like 16-4, and the Thunder have roared back, and it's 16-13 now with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. OKC leading that series 1-0 as well. Let's see what we got. Quick story. How about this Shohei Ohtani story? That's unbelievable what's going on there. So Shohei Ohtani's interpreter allegedly wired stolen money to Real Housewives star Ryan Bojan. I don't even know who Bojan is, but this is Paul Boy of Breitbart. Ippy, what a lot of vowels and pronouns. Ippy Muzahara, the interpreter for Los Angeles Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani, allegedly stole $16 million from the famed athlete and wired the money to a reality television star. You believe this? This is crazy. And Ryan Bojan, a current cast member of Bravo's reality TV series, The Real Housewives of Orange County, I don't imagine you boys watch that, is the bookmaker's associate to whom Ippy Muzahara wired money to pay his gambling debts. ESPN reported that the sources close to the investigation said Muzahara, who's a real horror, is accused of stealing $16 million from the Dodgers superstar to feed Muzahara, described to ESPN as a gambling addiction. His arraignment has been scheduled to May 14th, it added. And Matthew Bauer, the illegal bookmaker under investigation, allegedly told Mizahara that he could help pay off his gambling debts by wiring money to one of his associates, who just so happened to be Bojan. He had been using the account with Bauer for real estate projects, and they have been business associates for 20 years. Bojan's criminal attorney, Stephen Katzman, said the reality show star has been cooperating with federal authorities, with sources saying he will receive immunity in return for his testimony. I tell you. And that's a wrap in sports. Enough of that nonsense.
All right. Well, thank you, Slick. And that kind of puts a wrap on tonight's show. We appreciate you taking the time and, of course, enjoying the procession with us. As always, we'd like to thank our military, active and retired, everybody working the front lines, police, fire, EMTs, Border Patrol, security, college security, who's being called in to kind of clean out the colleges. Everybody working to make our lives that much easier. You name it. Steam fitters, pipe fitters, plumbers, electricians. Thank you so much for what you guys do. Thank you for you guys for watching at home. Everybody on the chats. Fran and Aaron in the booth. David Zier over there. Slick Rick over here. You out there. Thank you for watching live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. We'll see you tomorrow night, Friday night, to kick off the weekend. Peace.
Good night, Damon.